All right, cool. Welcome back. This is session 23. Yeah? Did we figure that out?
4.
24. Holy shit. It's a lot of sessions. So for this session, I didn't write a summary, and you can either take that as an intentional or just because I was lazy and just too busy with school and work and so forth. So, I will allow us because I remember what had happened and what had occurred, but for the sake of posterity here, I'll give inspiration to anyone who wants to tell their side of what happened at the dinner that had occurred between the party and Strahd. Does anyone remember? Kind of what Strahd had spoken to you about in particular, or even to somebody else?
Well, Strahd tried to pull his Jedi mind trick bullshit on Mir, who gave no fucks about that and casually ignored that.
What exactly was he doing, though?
He was trying to, like, force choke me. She's got a neck of steel. Russian babushka.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just, general assholery.
It's from holding up that thick head of hers.
Right?
Got him.
Yeah, so Strahd rolled through the dinner and, did threw down the formal gauntlet that it's on.
He did.
I remember him saying that Astrapi was the only person in Barovia that he didn't invite and doesn't know how she got there. And
which is big.
Likened her to a disease.
He said that, as I recall, that that Helen was brought there for a reason. It was, forgot the exact wording, but it seemed like someone, like he wanted like a successor, or at least somebody that could live up to some sort of task that he had, and that he, in his mind, judged poorly.
That is very correct.
He caught Mulgolin cookies under the table and had a little chat with Alundara. From what I remember, I don't really remember the meat and potatoes of that, but
For sure, yeah.
I do remember it ended mostly in Jim talking some shit. And
That's true.
just kind of gabbing back and forth.
Being sassy.
Yep. Spicy.
Right.
Being super spicy.
Incredibly spicy. I'll give all of you guys inspiration.
Cool.
And what happened after the dinner? If you guys remember, you had gone to the. Let me see here. I'm gonna open the map up to the village of Barovia. So if I'm not mistaken, you are all. Oh yeah, you guys had helped Ismark and Donovich clean up quite a bit of Barovia faster than they would have done so by themselves. We did kind of a montage where the wolves in the nearby area were hunted as to not kill any excess sheep in preparation for the winter. We had our resident druid Jim Sod back going out there and attempting to heal the frostbitten terrain of various turnips and other vegetables. And we also had almost the entire party helping kind of clear out a massive portion of Barovia. And at the center town piece over here, where I'm pointing, there was a plaza, and you guys noticed a statue. Does anyone remember what happened at the statue specifically? This will also help jog our memory.
It had some inscription on it, I think.
Some dude with a portal up by the castle, like east of the castle.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's pointing in a direction, but there's nothing magical about this particular statue.
Correct. It had pointed. One of you had noticed that the hand, which pointed almost due north, the hand itself was made from the same material as the gate walls that are kind of in the village of Barovia.
Hmm.
It's like the living stone type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I think we ended our session with you all just kind of standing out here, observing and deliberating on what you could do. For sure, it seemed that your plan was to perhaps get to Castle Ravenloft as you had presumed a meeting going down between Strahd and the abbot.
Hmm.
Right.
I think we're going to try to use that as like a distraction or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'd be preoccupied.
ride in on
We
the
can go and do
coattails of that.
something.
Correct. And to further speed up what you guys know, the village of Barovia, you know that through written accounts, historical accounts, and either through biographies or other historical matters through the two churches that you've been to so far, you guys have been able to piece together information that would allude you to believe that there is uh, a mechanism by which the citizens of Castle Ravenloft can escape into the village of Barovia. The only thing you're familiar with that exit, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you gathered this information, was also north of the village of Barovia. And you guys were deliberating on whether or not to take. Unfortunately, you're not sure of the exact whereabouts of this presumed location. The only thing you do know is that you were giving it a high consideration of going to Castle Ravenloft via the road and just going back around past the waterfall and the Serpool's encampment and so forth.
Hmm. I think that's what. Yeah. I think that's what we were gonna do.
That's about everything you were able to capture in terms of information in the last session.
Okay. So what's the plan?
Hmm.
So we're gonna head to the castle, right? And we're hoping to get there around the same time as the abbot.
Or before? We're gonna. I think the idea was that we would see, like, kind of like hide, and then like see what happened when he got there.
Mm-hmm.
Because anything could happen. Strahd could get really mad, or I don't know what's gonna happen. But
I feel like Strahd's gonna get really mad, but
in
we
any
don't
case,
know that for sure. Yeah.
It's gonna be
he
a show
seemed
that we don't want to be late for.
yeah he seemed it to be excited about this, so he might actually have his attention turned away from us for the immediate future. And I think that's what we wanted to kind of try to capitalize on.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
So what time of day is it? Do you remember, Isaiah? Is this?
I think it's
I
morning.
think I did I scry on him last night? And
Yes.
Saw, oh no, was it first thing in the morning that we saw him fighting in the armor?
I don't actually recall.
Let me see.
In the vision, this guy was dark, but that could have just been where the tower was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did
we
you
were
look
also
into
joking about how he like wakes up every day and fights that thing in the morning.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm missing a spell slot, so I think I cast that this morning.
for sure.
Okay.
Well, I'm okay with the idea of like. So I think some of us were talking about this before in like either a post game rock talk or like just kind of out of game in general about how time isn't moving as fast as we're playing it in Barovia, and that like we're assuming that when you guys are in like the village of Barovia or Vallaki and so forth, you're spending a couple more days hamming it up with the locals as opposed to just every moment that we live in the RP experience is the exact time frame that's happening, right? Is that something
Yeah,
that
because
we
like seasons are passing and shit. So and we've actually only been here for maybe 2 weeks of played time, but a lot more than that has passed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the point that I was trying to get at that though was if you'd like to use the scrying thing again, since our last game was so long ago, I'm okay with that.
All right, let's do it.
Sure. Now I have to save.
And he's got your hair or blood or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. So what's the minus? Is it 10
here,
or
let me-
15?
It is -10,
Okay.
and
good.
my DC is 16.
What is his? He is a wisdom. Is that a wisdom?
I think so.
Wisdom saving throw. Yeah.
All right. Let me pull out his character sheet here.
Let's rustle up that character sheet real quick.
Right. All right. And what's the DC?
16.
He rolled a 15. He fails.
Some heavy scrying.
What's he up to?
What is
Keep
Strahd?
looking at him.
What is Strahd up to? All right. So you guys see the throne room of. Actually, no. Give me. Sorry, phone room. Give me a percentile check. 93. Let's see. Where are you, Strahd? Roll again. $86. Okay.
I like it when he makes that face.
Yeah, that's good.
Better.
Strahd's on the crapper.
What did I say? He was in the throne room? Is that what I initially said?
Yeah, that's
so.
what you said before you had me roll.
Yeah, okay. He's not in the throne room. There are black marbled steps that descend to a dark tomb that has a vaulted ceiling 30 feet overhead. The essence of evil permeates the very air. The smell of freshly turned earth is here. Settled into the dirt on the floor is a shining black coffin of finely waxed wood. The coffin's fittings are of brilliant brass, and the lid is closed. South of the coffin are 3 gloomy alcoves, and an iron lever protrudes from the north wall, east of the tomb's entrance. Here you see Strahd looking down upon this coffin, and Rahadin standing next to him. And Strahd says, Rahadin. And his voice kind of echoes in the room of this tomb. And it looks like for a moment Strahd is sulking. Then Rahadin looks at him and says, My lord? And Strahd's eyes flare. And he says, I have no patience for your games right now, Rahadin. You know why I am displeased. And Rahadin says, Yes, my lord. The adventurers have not accepted your dinner invitation, and Strahd interrupts and says, "Damn my invitation. I see now inviting them here was a mistake. This group is not like the others." And Rahadin, for the first time, you see a quizzical, almost confused look upon his face. And he says, "I don't understand." And he says, "When I faced them at the Shrine of the Moon, or the Shrine of the Sun, the priest, or cleric, Astrapi, as she calls herself, she called upon her god to drive me away." And Rahadin says, "Yes, my lord, this has happened here. It has happened before." And Strahd responds, "This was different. When my playthings enter this realm, they no longer commune with the higher powers they worship. They think they do, but it is the dark powers who respond to their prayers and grant them spells and powers. Clerics, druids, warlocks, it's all the same." And Rahadin replies and nods, "This is known, my lord." "It is. But when Astrapi called upon the god Bahamut, his light burned into my flesh, and I felt it, the true divine light of a god of light." Rahadin sees the grimace of pain on Strahd's face, but he did not allow to see his master. He did not want to see his master to see he had noticed it. Instead, he just responds, "That's not possible, my lord. I felt it. That was not the obfuscated power of the dark thrones, or of the dark powers, the vestiges. It was the divine might of Bahamut." And Rahadin says, have they weakened?" You can almost see and observe that the thought chills the Dusk Elf to the core. The vestiges may have been all of the slivers of divinity that have since left this realm. Perhaps no longer gods nor goddesses. Rahadin backs away as Strahd kind of rises and begins to pace around the room, his slow, methodic-like footsteps echoing in the dark like a heartbeat. The vampire stops halfway across the coffin and observes Rahadin. "This is a mystery we must unravel. My spies tell me the adventurers are still in the village of Barovia. I will leave immediately to the Amber Temple to commune with the dark powers there. I want you to gather the Dread Guard." And Rahadin says, "My lord, the Dread Guard." And he questions him for a moment, and Strahd just replies, "I do not like to repeat myself, Rahadin." And Rahadin says, "It has been centuries. Surely, most of them are dead." And you see Rahadin lower his eyes to avoid his master's glare. "Each of them is bound to me, Rahadin. They share my immortality. I would know if they are gone. It seems there is a great deal you do not know, yet still you continue to question me, Rahadin." And he immediately cows, apologizing. "My deepest apologies. I will send for the Dread Guard and instruct them to come to Castle Ravenloft immediately." And Strahd says, "All but Droglir." And the name hangs in the air like like death swept into the room to join it. And Rahadin says, "The Pale Wolf. You will find him on Mount Baratok. My pack of lycanthropes has been wiped out, but truth be told, they had grown weak. I allowed Kirill to play his games, and the pack suffered for it. When it came time to play their role, they were wiped out too easily." And Rahadin says, "They had grown soft, my lord." And remembering his lord's disappointment almost when Kirill's pack had easily fell to the adventurers. I want Droglir to hunt the adventurers. I want him to kill them, or as many as they can before they reach Castle Ravenloft." "Yes, my lord." "Hurry now. I will be leaving soon." And Rahadin, not attempting to obtain or to gain the vampire's ire and fear his punishment, almost as if he just before he left. "But my lord, what about our guest, the abbot? He arrives from whatever the name of the hell that town is.
Kresk.
Kresk.
He arrives from Kresk.
Inspiration for remembering the town.
If you guys didn't already have it, sure.
I already got one.
Yeah.
Super inspiration.
Right. He says, I had almost immediately forgotten about him. Send him in and I will speak with him before I leave for the Emerald Temple. I will meet him in the throne room. Rahadin says, very well, my lord. Rahadin, what was his name again? The abbot. His name is Mephistopheles. Quickly, send him in. We have much work to do in very little time. Rahadin paces out of the room. Strahd looks like he's stroking a beardless chin and observing for a moment into the empty coffin before him. And he leaves. Your scrying is over.
Mephistopheles, have we heard that name before?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not in this lore.
Is he already there?
Yeah, sounds like he's already there or about to be there. So, after seeing all this stuff, Astropia will just kind of update the group on that. And she'll say, I think we're in luck. Strahd's leaving Castle Ravenloft soon. He's going to see the abbot today. If we leave now, by the time we reach Castle Ravenloft, he should be gone. And we can maybe get in and out quickly before he returns.
Astropi, you saw Strahd's coffin.
I
Could you?
don't know that it was his coffin, but it was a coffin.
It was like richly waxed. What type of wood was it?
I don't know.
I mean, you're the woodsman, out in the wilderness, survival bullshit. Because
I don't know if I could tell from just seeing. I mean, it's all painted and waxed and stuff, right?
It is. That's true. There's nothing wrong with it. Well, I guess.
I mean, would I be able to recognize what wood it's made out of?
Probably no. I would say you'd probably be able to recognize with a really impressive history check. Maybe the style where it's from.
Nature or something. Like maybe if I could remember what the grain of the wood looked like.
That would be a really impressive nature check. Go ahead, give it a shot. It could not hurt.
Oh,
Let's
actually, my nature is horrible. Well,
basically, what I'm driving at though is knowing the type of wood, because vampires have an affiliation for a certain kind of wood when you stake them.
17. It just looked like Barovian wood from the trees in the area.
Okay.
Didn't look spectacular in any way. There's more. He's called upon his servant to gather some group known as the Dreadlords, ancient servants of his who haven't been called upon in a long time. One of them is a great white wolf, which will be hunting us as we head for Ravenloft. Strahd also still has eyes here in Barovia. He knows we're here. So I don't know that there's any way we'll be able to move safely. I think our best bet is to just leave as quickly as possible and get there as soon as possible before he can return. But I'll leave that up to everybody to discuss.
Can try to sneak out.
Maybe our only chance.
Nondescriptly as we can.
Is Ismark here?
Ismark was with you guys when you were at the plaza, so yes, I feel as long as you're still kind of sharing this information with him outside, then yeah, he's here.
Ismark, is there any way out of town, any kind of secret passages out of town, maybe something from underneath the mansion or some kind of a escape tunnel that we could use to leave the town undetected, to get us out ahead of Strahd spies.
He says, despite Donovich's proselytization in town, not many Barovians here go to the church. It is perhaps the best way. We can go seek Donovich's advice. Come.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Aye.
So I wonder if we can get to the castle before this white wolf is told or is summoned. So he said that Rahadin has to summon this dread guard. It might take some time for them all to assemble. We definitely want to try to beat them. For
Hell
now.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think once we hit the woods and start traveling, maybe there's a way that Jim and I can use our survival skills to cover our tracks and make it harder for this wolf to track us. Hopefully we can reach the castle in time.
Yeah, we should take every precaution, but still travel quickly. Let's go to the church.
So you arrive at the Church of Barovia. Give me 1 second.
We're going to talk to Donovich.
Yeah. Atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports Castle Ravenloft, you see this gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. The familiar church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. The bell tower rises towards the back, and flickering light shines through the holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. Ismark lends a gentle rapping knock upon the front door, which Donovich opens and steps out into the cold and says in his bumbly, nervous, and shaky voice, yes, you're here. What can I be of assistance? And Ismark kind of looks to you and with a hand, it kind of gestures the conversation to be open.
Donovich, may we come inside?
Well, of course, it is not the most perfect-looking church. To be fair, I haven't had many members in so long. Please come in, come. And he opens the door, and inside you see the hall. This is I think it's the first time you've actually been into the church. The doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall that leads into a brightly lit chapel. The hall itself, though, is unlit. And the moment you step in, it reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of this long hallway, lead adjacent to this massive chamber. You can see that the chapel looks to be strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within reciting the prayer. It looks like Donovich has a follower, some meager-looking acolyte that wears these tattered grayish robes that is proselytizing and chanting, seeking supplication from the Morning Lord's blessing. And then it is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from beneath the wooden floor. Kind of a familiar scream that you've heard. It's Donovich's son. Father! Father! I'm hungry! Screaming of being hungry, as you all know and can assume, he is a vampire spawn who has probably been hungry ever since he returned from being bitten by Strahd. How many? 20 or 10x years ago. And Donovich invites you in and says, I'm sorry for my son, but what can I help you with?
Is there a passage out of town that, like a hidden passage that we could take out of town? We need to leave town without being seen. Perhaps a tunnel or something underneath the church, maybe catacombs?
Donovich's eyes deceive him as he kind of glances back and forth and says, I don't believe so, no. You could take the graveyard north of here and slip in through the woods, but it is a high travel and a long hike to get to Castle Ravenloft from here.
What do you know about the statue in the center of town? Do you know any of the history behind that?
No. He looks nervously to his hand.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. As he's kind of saying this, go ahead and give me a persuasion check. Or intimidation, whichever you want to do. It sounds like you're trying to persuade him to give you information, but
Yeah, I just reach out at like a reassuring hand to his shoulder and just say, it's okay, Donovich, you can tell us. I'm going to use my inspiration on that.
all right. So you got a natural 20.
Mhm.
And Donovich's nervous demeanor calms for just a moment, almost enough to begin to explain this to you, and then he goes back into shaking a little bit. He says, I'm sorry, I did not want to keep it from I wanted to keep it from you because I did not know if I could trust you. There is an overgrown tomb nearby. It once harbored the civilians of Castle Ravenloft. I have once heard of a place where you could go to get into Castle Ravenloft from it. If you seek to go to Ravenloft, that is probably your best bet. Oh, he kind of like exhales as if this massive weight just got lifted off his shoulders, as if he's kept that secret for who knows how long.
Well,
I squeeze his shoulder and say, thank you. You act with the Morning Lord's wisdom, and I assure you, you won't regret this.
He says, yes. Come, I can actually show you the graveyard, or the overgrown tomb. He takes you to the north of the cemetery. It doesn't get too long until you get to the cemetery is massive. At least, what is there's no actual legend on how big the graveyard is. Well, we're going to say it's at least a couple hundred feet minimum. Thousands, if not. He takes you towards the back. And from a distance, you see, and this is kind of outside the area that Donovich has probably visited a lot often, or has visited often. You can see from the beginning that some of the closer stones and so forth near the church get taken care of really well, or at least somewhat relatively maintained. Once you get a couple hundred feet out, it gets a little questionable. It appears to be more swampy, and everything is just riddled with overgrowth.
So
And you come upon...
I was going to say, while we're walking out there, I'm going to nudge Mir and just tell her, keep your eyes out for spies. Make sure no one's watching us. Scan the horizon as best you can.
So Mir's doing that. She's really attuned to anything that looks out of place, especially anything that looks like it's watching. And she's kind of walking with her bow, like, low ready, and if she sees anything that looks to be, a bat or some sort of creature behaving in an odd way, she's going to immediately drop it.
For sure. Give me a survival check.
Wouldn't it be perception? Oh, to tell if it... Yeah, I gotcha. Son of a bitch. Well, that's not great.
Hey, all right. Hey, that's not bad. Not natural 20 is not bad. So your survival check is gleaning a couple things. One, this environment already seems to be native to frogs, primarily frogs and insects, and a lot of water-related kind of animals. You haven't seen any bats or birds here, with the exception of a couple of ravens. You're also noticed, though, with your non-natural 20 check, is the tracks you're leading into the cemetery. You know that given the swampy nature of this area, you probably won't be able to be tracked after who knows how long, maybe even a couple days. These tracks will go away. So if you leave through the cemetery, it's safe to say that it's going to be very difficult to track you guys, with everything being swampy and muddy and so forth.
Okay. Are any of these frogs giving me the stink eye?
I mean, one of them does is it snatches an insect and
I
just
shoot
awkwardly
that
holds
frog.
it like in its mouth, and it like opens it up and grabs it real quick.
Jim just puts his hand on Mir's bow and is just like, at ease.
He's
So you
looking at
walk-
me weird, Jim. He's looking at me sideways.
and he
Oh,
like
googly
Jim
eye.
kind of just throws a glance at the frog and just says, let's just leave my friend alone." Just a little sensitive right now. We're all a little sensitive right now.
So it doesn't take long. Walking down to the end of the cemetery where you find this overgrown tomb.
Nice. Is this made of the same material as the statue and the gates and stuff?
You walk up and kind of grab part of the overgrown mass and moss that has been accumulating on the wall, and you use your nails to move it aside. And you can tell that the texture, the color look the same.
Which pointed out to the group. Same stone.
This might have been. I wonder if the statue was pointing to this thing.
I think it may have been.
Donovich kind of stops at the entrance and says, I am going to go back to the church. I wish you luck. And he...
Before he leaves, can I get his attention?
Yeah.
Before you go, you wouldn't happen to know how this works exactly, would you? Is there an incantation or something?
I am not sure.
Ever?
He says, I know a couple of Borovians have gone down there over the years since I've been alive. Not many return, and those that do are not the same. I've questioned them, but none have gotten too far. They say a lot of the halls and rooms that are inside have since been destroyed and demolished. This area was an underground safe area, meaning that people could live here in case of emergency. Although it has been over 400 years since anyone has kept up with the place.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out. One more thing before you go. Keep an eye out for new visitors to the church. Anybody hanging around or trying to come in who you don't recognize or who isn't a normal member of your faithful. They may be trying to spy on us.
That would be incredibly evil. But I understand.
Take note of who they are. You don't need to confront them, but we'll want to know who they are when we return.
Okay, I could do that. He nods, and then he starts hurrying across the swamp back towards the church. Ismark kind of gives a long look at the building. He's looking up, kind of just adorning its masterfully crafted building, and says, I have got much work to do here. I unfortunately cannot go with you. Otherwise, my sword would be yours.
Understood.
Plus, I feel like it would be incredibly weird if Strahd's spies reported that I was not here.
Ravens guide
True.
you too.
Stay safe.
He gives a sweeping look at all of you, nods gently, and says, Stay safe. May the morning Lord's light be before you. He raises his sword and turns and runs back towards the village of Barovia.
Well, are we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Jim turns to the party, says one thing before we continue, and he casts Pass Without Trace on everybody.
Oh, sick!
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jim just drops a smoke bomb at everybody's feet.
Boom.
All right.
All
So
right.
you cast Pass Without Trace, and almost you feel light at the feet. You feel amazing. Yeah, let's get some stealth checks. 14, 23.
So that's 33 stealth.
24.
24 stealth. Yeah, 33 stealth. 31 stealth.
31.
Oh, stealth. 18.
Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Jim's got a go with him, just like whoa, 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 whoa.
Steps on a duck at some point. And like a bicycle horn.
You mean like
Oh,
steps
that's-
on a duck, like when your uncle farts and says, "Someone stepped on a duck," or like
Exactly.
actually stepped on a duck?
A duck appears.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Let's go in this tomb. Let's do some
Indeed.
adventuring.
So you descend into this tomb. The looks to be a great hall upon arrival. The stone staircase widens until it ends at a great hall. Dim light fills the chamber, cast by flickering torches that hang on sconces in the walls. 4 corridors lead out from this room. Standing against the wall between each corridor looks to be a 10-foot tall statue of a helmeted armored warrior.
Does
What?
They are almost incredibly and equally shaped out of the guardians at the gate, at both gates of Barovia that you've seen upon entering Barovia and leaving the village of Barovia. There are those 2 massive buttress forest. And these stone statues are carved in their likeness. These silent watchers of sorts. Yeah, so you see 4 paths in here. Where are you going?
Is here? Is it dark in this?
It's dimly lit. The sconces themselves, low light, almost as if the magic is deteriorating in them.
Okay. Well, I flip down the nods and give a peep down each hallway and see what I see.
All right, so you peep down one hallway, and you see down a long hall with a door that's open, a lantern that sits on a round wooden table against one wall. It's not lit, but it's something that you can observe from a distance, and that's to your immediate right. To the immediate left, you observe light being cast from several wall-mounted torches that reveals at a distance a bit of a ghastly scene. You spot an Iron Maiden propped against the wall. Directly in front of you, there are 2 more pathways. The one on the right looks like it's been completely bowled over, with the structural integrity having collapsed. Rocks and boulders fill the chamber. The one to the left of that one, you see from a distance, what looks to be an armory.
Okay. I relay this all to the group. So, the Iron Maiden, like, does this look like? Is this like a used Iron Maiden? Like, does this thing look like there is like a person got slammed shut in this thing?
It's pretty far away, but give me a perception check.
I'm just curious that this is like a sanctuary, and then all of a sudden there's a fucking torture device here.
Yeah. So you see, I mean, everything here, the immediate surroundings look like this might have been a sanctuary. And then upon closer examination, you're seeing some weird thing. The Iron Maiden from a distance, it looks to be like slightly ajar, and there is a long since decayed arm sticking out of it, almost as if the person who was in there, it got slammed shut on them and then perhaps killed them, and the person who did slam it on them just left him, because the body's just hanging with one arm kind of like limp out of it.
Okay, and I note that to the party as well. So it kind of seems like our options right now are hallway with a table and a lantern, hallway to an armory. What do I notice about the armory? Can I do perception on the armory hallway? Whether
I'll allow you to keep your perception check for that instead of having to continue to roll for it. From a distance, the armory, all you can see is you see a bunch of, looks to be from a distance perhaps, rusted axes, swords, lances, shields, so forth. And then because you have your night vision wear on, or dark vision, whatever you want to call it, dark vision, 60 feet, you can see for a moment a shadowy figure move in the room, almost like it lurched.
Okay, and I immediately note that to everybody that there's somebody down in that armory. Just wanted to check real quick because
actually you do have
20 feet with that.
You do have 31 stealth. Do you want to try to move down that room and get a closer look?
Yeah, I'm gonna motion to Howland to come with me to check this out and see what's what.
I just nod, and I'm like low to the ground, and like kind of like going along the opposite wall as Mir as we're going down this hallway. Keep in mind, I can't see what he can.
Yeah, sure. But you can hear it.
I can hear.
Shin, as you're kind of walking over in the room, you kind of peek your head in, perhaps. You see an enormous mass of flesh that waddles about on two stumpy legs. Two tentacles emerge from its body, snagging jars and swords and depositing them into its maw. A tentacle stalk, studded with red eyes, extends from its back and reaches over its maw to look around for anything it can eat. And it rolls perception. It doesn't get a natural 20. You are not seen.
Okay.
I don't think we want to fight that thing.
No, I want to leave. Go back down the hallway.
Let's go back down the hallway.
Yep. Jim follows.
Well, you weren't with us.
Oh wait. It was just you guys in
It
there?
was just me and
Yeah.
Mir.
Okay, got you.
We have the highest stealth, so yeah. So we go back and say, yeah, we don't want to go in there.
It's eating old weapons in there, and it doesn't really seem to care. I think we should check out the Iron Maiden then. And
Same deal.
Yeah.
Just get a little bit closer.
yeah,
Okay.
Astrapi's just following their lead, providing light with her hammer.
Yeah, as you guys slowly meander towards this chamber of sorts. Light cast from several wall-mounted torches here, very dim light, reveals a ghastly scene. There's a rack, a wheel, an Iron Maiden, and other implements of pain that display heavy use in the blood staining and clotting nearly every surface around you. Strapped to the rack is a skeletal humanoid whose flesh, not skeletal, it's looks to be a once muscular humanoid whose flesh has been completely flayed from the body and now lies a heap on the floor. Three misshapen humanoids look to be thrown against the wall in an opposite corner of the room.
is there
There is another hall leading out of this room.
right? So in this immediate room, though, is there like any sort of box or something where like whoever are they naked or are they clothed on these things? I gotta imagine the flayed guy is obviously naked, but the rest
All of them are. Just looking at them, even the three dead bodies laying against the wall, they're all dead.
is it?
Or
no,
they're
not
all
naked.
naked. Sorry, they're all naked.
Okay, so is there like a box of effects of like where they were like just throwing all their shit into a box nearby? Are they like scattered on the ground, or is there just like they got does it look like they got moved in here, like they got stripped off someplace else and then brought here?
As you're kind of looking around, you do see a chest nearby that kicks open. The lock has since been broken off. It looks like someone else got to it before you did, as most of perhaps what might have been salvageable has been removed. You see a couple of rags. The smell is horrendous. Just mildewy cloth and various other rags are remaining inside here.
But nothing that would kind of indicate like I'm basically trying to gather like who these people were. So like I don't know if there's, you know, maybe there's like, you know, the equivalent of like a penny or like, you know, the small change that wouldn't be worth taking or anything like that. Like who these people were, or where they came from, or what the hell is going on.
Yeah, unfortunately, looking through the chest, nothing that could even be remotely repurposed is in here. Sadly. So it doesn't give you anything in regards to who is here. I will allow a perception check if you want to take a more detailed look around the room.
Well, I'd like to specifically look. So does this Iron Maiden have like an opening in the front? Or is
It looks like it's
just
slightly
totally
ajar. It looks like it's slightly ajar. Like the arm is caught between the spikes. You could see
Right.
one of the spikes going clear through both of the bones in the forearm.
Can I like peep in there? Not like put my like how ajar are we talking? Like are we talking like I could like lean over and look at this thing but not put my whole face into the crack of this Iron Maiden?
Yeah, no, it's not that wide. I would probably say in terms of width, probably less than a foot open. So maybe you could slip a hand in there, but that's it.
Okay, so like what can I see at like a cursory glance besides a dude got murked up by Iron Maiden?
Give me a percentile check. Okay, you see looks to be an insignia on a ring that is in his opposite hand, but his hand is like his right hand is like this, so it's propped up. You see kind of like the band on the surface of his ring, and then you kind of see a platform at which something could be scrawled on the surface of it. But it is like, you know, across the other side of the Iron Maiden within it.
Okay.
Basically his opposite hand.
So I quietly let the party know that this guy's got like a ring that looks like it's got an insignia on it. I think so. Like I look at the other side of the Iron Maiden. How are the hinges looking on this thing?
Very degraded. They look completely rusted. You could slam the hilt of your weapon on it probably and get it loose pretty fast.
I don't want to make too much noise.
Yeah, I don't want to make too
There's
much
that
noise.
thing over there, down the other hallway.
I was thinking about putting some oil on the hinges and trying to work it open. Or do they look rusted to the point where like adding some oil onto this is not going to keep it from squealing when it opens?
That would be a survival check, yeah? Or would that be... what kind of check do you think that would be?
Probably wisdom.
Wisdom? Yeah, actually, yeah. Give me an overall wisdom check.
Like, okay.
Just flat wisdom. Any bonuses you have to wisdom you can add as well. +2. Natural 20. Okay, yeah. No, you
using them. We're using them now.
So you know that if you so there's two on a Iron Maiden. It's not the door and the handle itself are kept together. This is not scientific by any means. I've never seen an Iron Maiden in person, but I'd imagine some of the locks, in terms of like the hinges of which it's placed on, would resemble a door to some degree.
Right,
Maybe there's some kind of rod that keeps in the surface it's stuck against in the door. You know that with your wisdom check that you could probably pop out one of the rods that keep the hinges in place and then oil the other one, and the Iron Maiden will come off completely.
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Sure. You use the only thing you do is you consume whatever oil you have. You consume a charge. I think like an ounce you'd probably consume 1 out of 10. So.
Okay, I have like a flask of oil. So.
Sure. We'll say the oil has 5 charges and you've consumed 1.
Okay.
At least if you're trying to go for these small metric,
right.
It's about
And I want to have like a Strahd with me on this to like make sure this door doesn't just flop over and like
crash,
make a huge noise, right?
Okay,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
Gently
I'll get ready to
put
catch
this door down.
I'll get ready to catch the door.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna help her do that.
Sure. So you are able to knock the steel rod out. You oil the part of the hinge. The Strahd kind of gives a tug at the door and has to pull, and she has to close it. You have to maybe add a little more, and the door screeches just a little. The oil is enough to pull it completely open, and it's stroppy. It's not strong enough to hang on its hinge. It slowly shears away from the rot, and you just set it calmly against the wall or on the ground or whichever you feel is safe.
I'll just lay it down on the ground.
Sure. Then you have this open Iron Maiden. The view is gruesome. The man you see is an immaculate silvered steel armor with delicate filigree and holes punched in it from this Iron Maiden.
So tell me about this ring. I
Yeah.
want to leave it on him. I just want to look at it. Without
Sure.
touching. No touching. No touching.
Sure. You see an insignia where from a distance, it's kind of hard because it's against the wall.
I use my mirror above it.
Okay, awesome. All right, you use your mirror and kind of slide it all the way back very gently because you don't want to touch this thing. Yeah. The insignia through the mirror, you see a Strahd signet upon it. It's the profile of Strahd. It looks like the insignia that you've seen from some of his soldiers, although this one looks to be a little bit more decorated.
Meanwhile, Jim hits it with a little detect magic.
The ring does emanate magic.
Like to try to determine, I don't know, something more.
What school, maybe?
A little magical school situation.
Yeah, this one is enchantment.
Enchantment magic, he says to the group. On the ring.
I wonder if it is some sort of key. I don't know if we should take it yet.
Touching things has not been going well for us in the last few days.
Yeah, it might be. It might allow Strahd some insider control or something over the bearer of it.
I agree.
We'll come back to it if we need be, but
I think we leave it for now, and we just know that whoever was down here murking people up was murking up Strahd's guys.
That is good to know. Seems to be some kind of lieutenant or someone of higher station, apparently. I think we should travel down the next hallway to move on.
Aye.
We still may need that ring, but let's leave it there for now.
You continue further on. And you, before you enter, you observe a chapel. Here, an altar. And when I say you move on, I mean as if you've wandered through parts of what looks to be a mirage of hallways, some of which have been closed off due to the ceiling itself collapsing. The chapel itself looks to have an altar, and the religious icons decorating this chamber suggest that its purpose was to be a chapel. You see a bunch of insignias here that represent the Morning Lord. The place here, however, has been obviously desecrated. There are organs and dung sitting in a heap in a basin nearby. The holy symbol upon the chapel has been cracked into pieces, and the candles nearby have been melted to wax. Even with some of the whitewash covering, the walls are cracked and have flaked away, showing the dark stone underneath that this entire complex was built of, which looks to be the same material that's built out of the Castle Ravenloft and the various buttresses that are nearby.
I'm not gonna lie, when you said organs, I thought you meant like the big pianos for a second there.
No.
Which is very Strahd, so
Bodily
you never
organ.
know.
This is where he keeps all of his organs that he practices on.
Yeah, no. Bodily organs. It smells incredibly foul in here.
All right.
down the further down the way, Shin, you can Mirror, you can see this. You see a room that looks like it has a massive hole that is half the circumference of the room itself across another hall.
Wait, say that again. It's a massive hole, like
Yes.
a hole in the floor.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's a pit up ahead, guys, so don't fall into the pit. But so like looking down this hallway, it's like then it opens up into a larger room.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go check that out too.
All the while, Jim is just using detect magic to try to make sure there aren't any magical traps or any hidden surprises nearby.
Sure. The chapel itself seems to be benign, as does the hallway, as does the pit. This hole that you see, it looks to be easily 20 feet across, and it lies in the center of the room. There's a mist that rises from the depths and a light underneath it. There is gore that spatters the lip and sides, clinging like some sort of vulgar growth on the inside of this pit. To the north part of the room, there is a lever.
Okay. I want to. I just want to like. So it's like when you say the gore is on the lip, right? Like you're talking about on the inside or like on the outside, like they were sliding bodies into this thing.
On the inside and outside, but not as if they were sliding bodies on it. Looking around the room, you see guards strewn, guards and just guards in rusted armor strewn all about. Some of them look to be cut in half. Some of them look to be impaled. One of them looks like it have literally, with the thrust of their body, looks like the wall behind where they landed has been cracked and fallen apart, and underneath they're sitting like in a dead heap between rocks and rubble. All these men at a cursory glance have been cut down.
Okay.
They all seem to be their entire mass seems to be accumulated at this doorway leading into the chapel and out where you guys are from.
Okay, so
They were defending it.
Yeah, I want to have Mir like indicate to the party, like, because there's a light coming up from this hole, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want him to like stay back out of view of the bottom of this pit, and then I want to have Mir kind of creep real low towards the pit, and then she's gonna go prone and take her mirror out, and then reach just the edge over it, like at an angle, so she can see down into the pit.
Sure, yeah. So there's I love the imagery of that. So you're sliding on the ground at this point.
No, it's like Solid Snake, like crouch
She's
run,
like
real stealthy, and then just like the
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you do that, and you're like laying on your side, and you slide the mirror out and just kind of look. Mist covers everything you can see. You do see the light kind of emanating, and now that you're this close, you hear a gentle vibration, like a, and it almost like thrums your body as you're this close to it. And you hear it almost kind of almost like it hicks or it hitches.
Okay, then I pull the mirror back and go back and relay that to the party. I feel like I want nothing to do with this hole in the ground.
This seems like not a good hole.
The thing is, too, like, we can't interact with anything in here, right? Like, we can't pull this lever because I don't know if that thing hears, but if it does hear, it's going to come charging down these hallways. And if we're going to fight this thing at some point, we don't want to do it, like, in a narrow hallway.
It actually might be easier to fight in the narrow hallway. See, I don't know. Or it can't hear anything very well. We're okay.
we've also gone down a whole bunch of hallways.
We're
since
like
we
pretty
saw
far
it,
away
right?
from it.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we're in like a whole nother wing, right?
A whole nother wing. So we're still in like a chapel. Like
At this
underground
point,
chapel, or are we beyond it?
You're beyond it now.
Okay. There's nothing else in this room but the hole and a
It
bunch of dead
ends.
bodies.
It ends in this room.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you look up and you see a vaulted ceiling with silhouettes and profiles of angels and a circular crest of Strahd, the profile imprinted at the very top of the ceiling.
I
So
mean, if you want to look,
Strappy
you
looks
can
up
flashlight this
and
thing.
says, "This must be the way to Castle Ravenloft."
You said there was no magic from emanating.
How far down did the pit go, Mir?
It's like 20
How
something
deep
feet.
could you see?
It's covered in mist though, and there's a light at the bottom, and it thrums.
The light, did it look like daylight?
Did it look like daylight?
It looked like a soft blue, and when you heard it hitch, the light kind of dissipated for a second, and then
Does Jim still have? Or Jim, are you still
Oh yeah.
using detect
So-
magic?
do you go to the edge,
Detect
Jim?
magic. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll
All right,
check
you
it
go
out.
to the edge, and you sense transmutation magic.
And Jim points out to the party. There's transmutation magic in this pit.
Hmm.
And points out that that's similar to the grave store and the abbey.
Strappy asked Mir if she still has any ball bearings.
Definitely
I do.
Can you hand me one?
Yeah.
Jim goes and finds cover.
Yeah, I hand her a ball bearing.
So I'll cast light on this ball bearing. So now it emits light, bright light for 20 feet and dim light for another 20. And I creep to the edge of the pit and drop the ball bearing into the pit and kind of watch as it falls.
I like that. So you drop it down, it hits and rolls forward, and then it touches the base of whatever that light fixture is, and you see a brilliant chromatic illumination from the ball, and it disappears.
Just look
I think
back
we
at the
just-
party and say, I think it's a teleporter.
I think
Or
we just
it'll instantly vaporize us.
This could be where our campaign ends, gentlemen.
And there's only one way to find out.
I pull
what
out
does this
rope.
lever do, though? That's what I'm curious
I
about.
start to fix my grapple hook to the edge.
I'm curious to know about this lever over here.
I'm less curious about the lever.
I'm less curious about the
Stroppy's
lever.
like hooking up the ropes and getting ready to rappel, and she's like, "Why have we got to pull levers?
Jim's
What
double
good has
checking
ever
his
come from pulling a
bootstraps.
lever?
Can I like hook my grappling hook onto the lever? We go down there, and as soon as I feel this thing start warping me, I pull the lever.
You could do that, yeah.
It'll be like Schrodinger's lever.
It's a horrible idea.
We'll never know what it
We'll
did.
never know what it did.
It does everything and nothing at the same time.
So Jim is just like tightening his bootstraps, and he like pulls out the enchanted wineskin and like takes a nip and offers to the rest of the gang for just in case this is our last moments.
Be it.
Well, one of us should go in first and then contact the others through the tattoo. Assuming, and if they don't contact us, we'll just have to assume they're dead.
All right, he wants to be the one that he wants to
How do
volunteer.
we decide?
Jim raises his hand and says, "All right, I'll do it."
Jim's always the mad
Mir-
one.
The only thing, right, is like, I feel like it's got to be Howland or me, because we got the high stealth for wherever we come out on the other side. Like,
Yeah, but I can also wild shape.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he could just turn into like a fly and just leave.
Jim has the easiest way to escape
Why don't
any
we have him
danger that
turn
might
into
happen.
something before he warps in there?
Yeah, that's the idea.
That might be a good idea.
I was thinking
That
a
way
little.
it's not just like,
Maybe,
oh, hey, Strahd, I'm
Turn
just
into a
fly.
ball bearing.
Turn into
I'm
a raven
glowing ball bearing now on the other side of that thing.
or a bat, because that would let you fit in.
Can you shapeshift into like a suit of armor?
No, I just wild shape into a creature that I've seen before.
There has to be a D&D creature that looks like a suit of armor. Shapeshift into a mimic.
Piece
Alright.
of shit.
Do it to it, my friend.
I think Jim is going to turn into a weasel or some sort.
The only
Something
animal
with some
vampires
nice,
fear.
some
a
keen
perfect
senses.
animal to blend into Castle Ravenloft.
A
Exactly.
bearded weasel, no less, which is like tripping on its own beard.
Yep.
A bearded weasel.
So,
Just reeks
do we
of
know where
wine.
we want to go when we get there? We don't want to be standing around trying to figure out decisions.
I think we want to go to the top, right?
Go to the top of the tower.
Yeah.
Do we want to
All right.
hit the tower, or
Get
do
the
we want
blades.
I mean, that's the most easily recognizable landmark.
That's
would
the
imagine.
that's the
Let's
place
hit the-
that would be easier for us to find,
Hmm
given what we've seen. Although we don't
And
know.
also, if he's receiving in the throne room, the larder for like the dragon head or whatever is not. It's like that's in the same area.
Well, we have no, because you go in the main Great Hall and then you hang a right and then go into some like side hallways and then it's down there. But we don't know where this is going to take us, right? So we'll have to figure
True.
out
Do
once
both.
we come out.
Let's do both.
Well, let's just, I guess, play it by
Yeah.
ear. Figure out where
Alright.
we are when we get there.
Ready, Jim?
Yep. Jim
Hey,
shrinks into a weasel.
I touch Weasel Jim and just say, Bahamut guide you, and I cast guidance on
I
him.
pour a little bit of wine into my hand for Weasel Jim.
And he happily accepts, laughing at just
Okay. I feel like you get double inspiration.
You're now super intoxicated because your tiny
Your
weasel body
weasel.
cannot
You
handle.
stumble over.
Retains the same stats as before, so this is the like most drunk weasel ever.
All right, so Jim,
he just hops headfirst into this this teleporter.
sure.
Breaker and are dead.
Jim's been
You-
vaporized.
You you climb down to the base, and then move over to this a what looks to be a crystal of sorts that's cut in various awkward ways. It doesn't look uniform or like a carved gem would or a garnet or what have you. It's light blue essence. It kind of has a smoky, wispy vibe about it. It seems as though the mist inside this little pit is generated from this object. It vibrates and almost shakes your entire body in this vibration as you approach. And you put your weasel little palm upon the base of it, and your entire form is brilliantly lit, and you are teleported. And you appear next to the ball bearing that still has the light spell cast upon it. You're in a room, and this room is about 30 feet square, and it rises to about a 20-foot tall flat ceiling. The stone brazier that you now stand in front of burns fiercely in the center of the room, but its tall white flame produces no heat. The rim of the brazier is covered, as you look up, you see the rim of the brazier is carved with 8 cup-shaped indentations spaced evenly around the circumference. Within each indentation looks to be either a spherical or a rectangular or oval in various shapes, almost the size of a human eyeball, and made of a colored crystal. No 2 stones are the same color. Overhead, a wood-framed hourglass as tall and wide as a dwarf hangs 10 feet above the brazier, suspended from the ceiling by thick iron chains. All the sand is stuck in the upper portion of the hourglass, seemingly unable to run down into the bottom. Written in glowing script on the base of the hourglass is a verse in common language. Although as you kind of look around the rest of the room, you see 2 9-foot-tall statues, iron statues of knights on horseback, poised to charge with swords drawn. They stand in deep alcoves to the left, or to the west, and to, I guess, on the opposite side of the rooms, really. Facing each other. The brazier itself sits between them.
All right. Well, Jim is as low to the floor as he can possibly be at this point, and is scrambling for, you know, a place where if somebody walked in for some reason, he wouldn't just be out in the open.
Sure.
And is trying to ascertain the nature of these strange relics and crystals nearby.
Sure. The glowing script in common that kind of hangs in front of this hourglass reads, "Cast a stone into the fire. Violet leads to the mountain spire. Orange to the castle's peak. Red if lore is what you seek. Green to where the coffins hide. Indigo to the master's bride. Blue to the ancient magic's womb. Yellow to the master's tomb."
Oh shit.
Can we get that in text form?
Yeah. I'm writing it down now while you do what you gotta do.
Hmm. Jim just puts an ear to the wind with his keen weasel hearing and sense of smell, as it turns out, and just tries to just wants to make sure he doesn't smell anything off or hear anything off.
You don't.
Jim messages back to the group. I found something interesting. I may need a second opinion. It's quiet here.
I think he's not dead, guys.
Is there anything in this room that I could tie a rope off to that isn't rusted and screwed up? I don't know why that rolled, but that isn't rusted and screwed up?
Well, I think it's Joffrey's just putting the grappling hook at the lip of the thing, and
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
you-
did. I'm already
you-
at the
you-
bottom.
You
Yeah.
might have had to anchor it to some bodies. Not that you'd be above that, considering a couple of bodies anchored with like weighing in heavy tons of all the armor they're wearing. It's probably pretty safe.
Okay. All right. Then
I guess
Right.
we all get to the
shoot me
bottom.
down, yeah.
Yeah, I was already at the bottom.
Yeah.
I climbed down a while ago, and I'm gonna leave the rope there so that if we come back and need to climb up it, it'll be there.
Okay.
Nice. Well,
I'll go first. And Helen touches the crystal.
I'll follow behind. I'll give it a
Yeah.
few seconds after he disappears, and then I'll walk in as well.
Mir dabs her oil and just does like the 3-finger like camouflage across the face, and then dabs the crystal.
Weasel Jim is just standing with like his back against a wall, just like looking around. Just,
Like smoking a weasel cigarette.
yeah.
Rad.
Orange to the castle's peak.
Uh-oh.
All right, I changed you guys' map.
Oh, jeez, guys.
The mountain spire.
I think we want the castle's peak.
Is there a stone sitting on the flame right now? Because it looked. You said that it was white, so it was set to go to
The
Barovia.
village. Yeah.
Yes.
So if we were to like remove that stone, then it would turn off. The white stone. Hmm.
Or it would melt our flesh.
Yeah, that's
Bum,
also a
bum,
thing.
bum.
What's
But
this?
there's no heat.
Yeah. What's this thing look like in this brazier? Like, is it actually a stone, or is it like a gem?
You see, um, you see a Strahd coin in there. Just looks like a silver piece.
Hmm. Guess that would work.
A coin is technically stone of the earth, I should say.
Hmm.
Silver would be.
Silver will always take us back to town. Presumably.
Sorry, I want to make the distinction here. Tossing the stone into the color itself is the distinction. Sorry.
Is there
Oh,
different
there's.
colors
Oh, the
around?
cups are different colors?
Yes, all the cups. There's 8 cups, all magical flame, all 8 colors.
Oh. I
Oh,
completely
okay. I
misheard
thought there was
that.
like one flame, and like all the stones were like different keys.
Yeah.
Change
No, I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Um, uh, there's exits from this room, obviously. Right? Does it look like there's doors around?
Yes, 3 doors to your north and 1 door to your south.
So, first thing I'm going to do is cast locate creature.
Sure.
And I'll describe Strahd as the creature I'm trying to locate. And so if he's within 1,000 feet, I would be able to sense him.
You do. You sense him. You sense him about 200 feet up and 200 feet away to the east.
Hmm.
So I'll tell the party, Strahd's still here. He's a few floors above us and to the east. Where was that? Okay. Do we remember where that tower was? This was the North Tower rooftop.
Think it was the North Tower?
Yeah, it was the North Tower.
It's whatever the highest one
I
is.
think to our east would be.
He's 282.84 feet to our east.
I think to the east would be the Great Hall.
Hmm.
Based on
Pythagorean theorem, motherfuckers.
Math.
Based on what we've seen so far in the descriptions from scrying and seeing various parts of the castle, and judging by where I think he is now and the information we got that he's supposed to be receiving, he's supposed to be receiving the abbot in the Great Hall. It would seem that this room is somewhere on the western side of the castle. Assuming the Great Hall is in the center, or at least we are west of, I think, the Great Hall. I'm not sure that it really matters where this room is, though, because we can teleport out of it, but there's no guarantee we'll be able to teleport back from wherever we go, I guess.
That's true. Maybe all the exits have a similar characteristic to the one in Barovia.
In any case, he hasn't left yet. So I don't know if we want to try to explore this area until he leaves, or if we want to continue to teleport around.
What could all these colors mean? The mountain spire. Is that where we want to go?
I don't think so. I think we wanted to go to the castles, the peak of the castle, right?
Orange to the castle. Red if lore is what you seek.
That's got to be
that
a
would be
library.
A library. But
The mountain spire might be Mount Baratok, or maybe the Ember Temple.
the coffin side green.
Is everybody else getting robot action from Discord right
Yeah,
now?
Yeah,
robot.
I have to
Yeah,
disconnect
Okay,
right now.
reconnect here. Alright, how about now? Hello?
Check.
Test.
Team?
Team.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds
good.
better.
Oh, hey.
I wonder if one of these goes to the.
Jim turns back into druid shape and just says, seems likely that Strahd may be able to detect us if we use this.
Yeah, I'm worried that if we teleport around his house while he's here, he might know.
Also, if we change the color, he'll know somebody did, and he'll know exactly where we went.
Jim uses locate object and describes the blades of sunlight.
Okay.
That is.
Give me the language on that.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
It's just like locate person.
Yep.
I'll give you a sense that it is north. However, the castle spire is where your position is. No, it's not. It's not 1,000 feet. You can sense it. About 500 feet up.
Jim relays that information to the party.
Well, we can scout it out, see if we can find a path. I mean, we seem pretty sneaky right now, and we can sneak around. If worst comes to worst, we can peace out and use this as a rally location.
Aye.
Okay.
So,
What
we
door
wanna
do we want to take?
check one of these doors to the north then? So, I'll just suggest, yeah, Jim, you try to guide us towards the blades, and I'll keep an eye on Strahd. If he's moving or anything, I get to see if he's moving too. It's a 10-minute, or locate creatures actually an hour concentration. So
I might have broke something. The map is gone for me now. Oh, there it is. Got it.
Locate object is concentration up to 10 minutes, so.
yeah, I was
So,
just saying like you can try to
Yeah, just kind of compass it out, just like, yeah, he just tries to guide the group toward the blade best he can.
Mhm.
North-ish and upward.
Let's see here. In that case, I'll give this to you. I think this is a pretty interesting.
hold on, your transmit is really bad.
Yeah.
You're
it's-
roboting really bad again.
What about now?
That's better.
All right. So the locate object spell is pulling you to the very far left door and the very far right door. Both of them.
Jim says, could be the left door or the right door. Perhaps we should proceed with caution from here on out.
Left door it is. Let's do it.
Hmm.
I'm tagging along with the group.
So the staircase of ancient stone is worn smooth. Thick dust covers its steps, and cobwebs choke the passage.
Do they go upward or downward?
They go up.
All right.
Howland, do you see? Actually, I'm sorry, Astrapi, your passive wisdom. You see a a dimly lit glyph at the base of the stairs. This flight up here, and it looks like it's covered in dust upon this stonework.
I just motion to Jim. Jim, can you identify what this glyph is?
It would take an investigation check or an arcana check. I'll take either.
Can I help him? I'll help him with the check.
Here, it was investigation or arcana.
Yep.
Well, I already have guidance from you.
Yeah, but I mean, I can assist
All right,
also,
yeah.
right? So that you can
Do it.
get advantage.
Yep.
That is correct.
And you have guidance, so.
Which is an additional
Nice.
1d4.
Nice.
Ooh.
25.
Bam.
All right. It is a abjuration spell. It's a glyph of warding. You know, certainly it's a trap. You're what was the check? Oh, 21 Arcana? All right, I'll give you some more information. That seems very fair.
25, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
25 after guidance.
Okay, so you know that glyph of warding, when this spell is cast, inscribes the glyphs that usually harms other creatures. In this case, obviously, it's upon the surface of the floor. Typical glyph of wardings either describe explosive runes. Typical ones and describe a spell glyph. This one looks like it has all the makings of a spell glyph. By the way, it's carved and the delicate filigree to the stone. It almost looks you couldn't. I mean, without the perception of Astrapi, you wouldn't be able to tell if there was a glyph on the ground. Although now that you can clearly see it, it looks to be a spell. You're not exactly sure which one, but you can tell the spell is an illusion.
I just tell Jim I got this one, and I'll cast Dispel Magic.
All right. You dispel the glyph from the ground. Its magical essences disappear. However, the carving itself, built into the stone, is still there. You can tell that all it would take is for a spellcaster to come along and infuse the essence again for it to be reactivated.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
You lead further up the stairs.
Hold on.
Sure.
So I've dispelled it. The magic's gone. I'm gonna take out one of my pythons from my pack
Okay.
and like scratch through the glyph.
Sure. Give me an athletics check. Yeah, you use this piton and it just begins to shave it down as you're trying to grind and alter and disrupt the glyph that's been carved into it. You're not making a scratch against the surface. Stone on the ground looks like the stone against the walls.
Okay. Tough stuff.
Mm-hmm. So you're heading upstairs. This long flight of stairs leads to a massive brown door. You hear nothing on the opposite end.
Who's at the lead?
I am right now, but I think everybody needs to get up here.
I think we're up here. I can't see
Where,
shit in
where
this
are you
in
at?
these
Yeah,
stairs.
it's really hard to tell where you're
There's
at.
a
Up to
there's
the
a
top of the
landing,
stairs.
and then you
Okay.
go to the right.
Gotcha.
I can't see more than like one square.
One square.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Oh, who does well, give me 1 second here.
You're making it difficult on us. Okay.
Stroppy should have like
I can't
a lot of light
see.
here.
I've got night vision goggles. If this is a darkness thing.
I
That's
also
true.
have dark vision.
Yeah, is it dark or is it the cobwebs?
It's the cobwebs that are doing it.
I see.
Does somebody have dispel cobweb?
It's
Got a
probably better if
torch.
we just leave them. The less disturbed this place looks, the better.
So I wasn't supposed to draw dicks on the wall as we went.
So, sorry, you don't come across a door. You come across a flat wall. It looks like the same wall that's built into the side of the castle. You can barely see the lines where it would split.
We don't know how to change this.
Give me 1 second. Is that better? Do you guys see now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I just need to find a mirror. All right. So yeah, you're up against this wall. It looks flat. If you're looking down, you can see footsteps leading into and behind you. Your locate person spell indicates some very strange movements coming from Strahd. Don't know how defined it is, though. Let me read that again. You describe a name and character that fits this. If the creature is moving, you know the direction of its movement. The spell can locate a specific creature known to you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just give you very cursory stuff. You see some very strange movements coming from locate creature, but you can't define what exactly is happening.
Okay, so I just hear him. I can, well, not hear him, but I can tell that he's moving around.
He's moving.
You're cutting out. Sorry.
So he's moving around. I should say he's in place, but he's moving, like he's interacting with something.
He's beating the shit out of the abbot right now. I know it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he might be trying to scry on us. So what's up with this wall? Does anybody know how to open this door? Can we push on it? Is it like...
This is like
let's
the incantation
continue
that we
moving.
don't know.
This door.
This is the incantation that we don't know how to move the stone.
I mean, have we tried even pushing on it or anything? Or are we just assuming that that's how this door works?
I think that's what we're doing so far. So.
I can
See.
touch it. I don't think anything can happen.
Did you said you touched it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you are correct. Nothing does happen. And then when you see Astropi and Mir come up the flight behind you, Astropi's vision, I think you're the one who has a torch, Astropi, or somebody does, right?
Astropi's weapon radiates light.
The
Yeah,
weapon.
my weapon radiates light.
Yeah, so when Astropi's light kind of radiates, you see a flush panel in the wall ahead of you. You slide or if you do, you slide it, you guys going to open it, or
Yeah.
you slide your palm against it, and you have to reach up because you're a halfling on your tippy toes, and you press it. It opens to reveal the stone kind of moves a little bit, creates a bit of noise. The shadowy room here is in perfect order. A great table stands here with its chair, inkwell, and quill set carefully in place. Lances, swords, and shields that bear the Barovian crest are hung neatly in the dark oak-paneled walls.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna step in and start scanning around the room, looking for traps.
Yep.
Same.
Sure. I'm going to need to see perception and or investigation checks from you all. All right, Jim and Murr, your perception checks yield no traps. Your investigation checks do yield that this desk is almost used as a chamberlain's office. This is Rahadin's desk.
Is there actually a book on the table, or is that just?
Yes, there are various books and so forth on the table.
I give him a cursory glance to see what's what on there. Without,
Yeah.
I'm not touching anything though.
Sure.
Jim's curious as well.
They look to be. Some of them look to have some of the notes on the side look to be written in common, or at least that note that's kind of north of the book. The book itself is written in Elvish.
Makes sense.
Can you read
Can
Elvish?
anyone read
Amir?
Elvish?
No, I can't read Elvish. I can read Dwarven.
What? That's a good question.
No, I don't. Can read.
Oh my god, nobody can read Elvish in
us-
this party?
None of us
That's
can read
amazing,
Elvish.
dude. Oh my god. All right.
I think I forgot to choose languages, so yeah.
All right. It makes sense since you're a hermit. That's
I can
appropriate.
read Common,
know-
Halfling, Dwarvish, and Undercommon.
Okay, none of you guys can read what's happening in that open book. The
I hope
note
it's not
underneath it-
important.
My languages
note-
aren't in my character sheet,
Oh.
but I
I
did.
think you have to flip it to the other.
Oh, from simple or whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they
that
got
one,
broken probably.
Yeah,
But they're still saved. If you flip it back, it should be saved in there. If you put it in.
for sure.
How do you do that? I'm pretty sure I don't have. Pretty sure I don't have Elven, but I want to check. Where's that at? It's in the.
It's under proficiencies in languages, under compendium compatible. Put it to simple. It's on that page that you should be on.
Compendium
There are spells that let you
compatible.
read
Oh,
it.
here we go. Simple. Yeah, no, I have Draconic, Common, and Primordial.
Yeah. So the note in common underneath seems to be, from cursory glance, a letter that the abbot sent, speaking about the wife that he wishes to present to Strahd.
Oh shit! I do have Elvish. Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, Druidic.
All right. The Elvish language seems to be indicating he's writing in a personal diary. Some of his thoughts are coming out where he has the previous chapter or the previous page that's on the left-hand side, and it's, I should say, a previous entry. Looks to be as though Rahadin is suffering. He says that he can observe a change in his master's demeanor, and he continuously goes to the Amber Temple to find ways to release his master from this torment.
That Rahadin does.
Yes.
Go. Okay.
Hmm. Jim. Just shares that with the party.
Okay. Let's continue.
Like
Sure, do you have a door on the south?
Looks like it's open.
It is. It looks like I don't even know why there's a door there. It just looks like it's been cleaved off of the hinge itself. Part of the door looks to be completely shattered. In this room is a macabre scene. It's a 30-foot square room. It's in complete shambles. Scattered furniture lies in heaps near the walls. Broken bones lie scattered amid crumpled and crushed plate armor. Shields and swords jut from the walls as if driven into them by some tremendous force. 2 doors stand opposite of one another in the center of the north wall and the south wall. A dark archway leads out through the east wall. Astrapi, you feel some kind of impending force. Oh, jeez. All right, so you missed.
I could hear you.
Oh,
I have my
okay,
speakers
cool.
on.
Nice. You feel some kind of essence pulling you into the southern room, almost as if something is drawing you.
An essence is drawing me towards the southern room.
Yes.
From here.
You feel something drawing you through the door in the south.
Do it.
I'll mention that to the party. Something this way is beckoning me. Where is Strahd at the moment?
Strahd at this point looks like he's passing over the Great Hall and then going up.
So he's moving like away from us.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna approach this door cautiously and listen at the door.
It appears to be deadly silent.
Well,
Any obvious signs of traps on the door?
No.
wonder what it is.
Just turn to everybody and say, "Are you ready?"
Jim nods.
All right.
Mir readies an arrow.
Yeah,
So
Helen
if
was gonna he raises an eyebrow at Mir.
Yeah, so if we open this door and there's a guard there, she's gonna double tap this guy before he can sound an alarm.
Sure. You open the door to the Hall of Bones. Astrapi, this is what you saw in your vision. Dark stains cover the floor of this area. Large oak tables, scarred and beaten, lay scattered like toys about the room. Their wood crushed and splintered. Replacing them are furnishings made entirely of human bones. The walls, the 20-foot high vault ceilings are a sickly yellow color, not because of faded or time-worn plaster, but because they are adorned with bones and skulls arranged in a morbidly decorative fashion. It gives the room a cathedral-like quality. 4 enormous mounds of bones occupy the corners of this ossuary, and garlands of skulls extend from these mounds to a chandelier of bones that hangs from the ceiling above a long table, constructed also of bones in the center of the room. 10 chairs made of bones and festooned with decorative skulls surround the table, resting atop of which is an ornate bowl-shaped vessel made of yet more bones. You can assume that ornate bowl was what Strahd was looking into when you had seen that vision. The doors to the north and south are sheathed on this entryway in the side in bone, but the steel-banded double doors in the center of the east wall are not. And above the western part of the room, mounted the skull of a dragon.
I've seen this room in my visions.
Is that the
Essence-
skull of?
An essence of which you have not experienced gleams from the dragon skull along the wall. And taking steps, you feel as if your legs are almost about to give out underneath you just from witnessing the bones, the decapitated skull of Argynvost. The skull calls out to you to touch it.
I'll approach and touch the skull with reverence.
You immediately crumple to the ground in a lifeless heap. The others, you've seen Astrapi kind of fall into this vision before. Astrapi, you wake up in the distance, seeing this. Although you are light on your feet, you are able to float. A voice in your head says, Come to me. We have much to discuss.
I'll float towards the voice.
Indeed. And you are approaching this massive dragon sanctum. And as that happens, through the double-banded eastern doors, one of them opens. And 4 fully armored Ravenloft knights enter the room. They look like this.
Taps the first guy through the door.
And as this is happening, as Astrapi is passed out on the ground in this vision, and as these Ravenloft knights storm this Kingsman's Hall, we're calling game.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's
Way
a
to
pretty
go,
good
Sam.
fucking cliffhanger.
Way to
Jesus.
go. This is all your fault.
Yes,
Ooh,
unfortunately
baby.
a short game this week. But
Unfortunately, that was good.
shit.
I love that.
That was so good.
That was awesome.
Oh my
It's
a lot
god.
of tension there.
fucking Iron Maiden coming through the fucking door here.
I wonder what that ring was.
Probably some dope ass shit.
Probably some bullshit. It's probably some bullshit.
Ring
Let's be
it-
real. We
ring
don't want
it.
that ring.
Ring of protection from Ravenloft Knights, I'm sure.
Just
Left it behind. We're like, I don't have a bad
I
feeling
guess
about
we'll
that
never
ring.
know. Put that on the list of things that we'll want to ask about
Yeah,
later.
we'll literally never teleport back to that room again.
Nope.
Uh,
Statistically, probably not.
yeah, probably.
Ooh, man, that was such a spicy game.
That
Love it.
got
Spicy
good.
as fuck.
Castle Ravenloft is serious business. I love how all the stakes have like been raised as a result of being there. You guys are just like, okay, collective, everything is strategic. Like we have to make sure. Like it's amazing. I love it.
Oh yeah, you're fucking Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, we're not about to be fucking taken out by some bitch ass door
Right?
in
All
Ravenloft.
three of us running
like-
around like in cardboard boxes.
Ring!
And 15 people watching just as we're about to finish. A shame.
Every time,
Shame.
every time we
Shame.
get into the end of the session post game chat, like 5 to 10 extra people.
Dude, we need to
show
have
up.
a game that just starts at like 11 p.m. and goes on until 2 a.m. because we'd capture like whatever show it's ending right now.
Yeah, that would be dope. Next,
It would be dope, but incredibly difficult because we're up at like till 2 a.m.
We do
Yeah.
need to
I'm
figure
like,
out
you know.
how we're going to continue to play.
Yeah,
That
is
Dawn
one
is
thing.
on OT.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one
let's-
thing we need
let's-
to talk about is on Mondays. Probably not going to work for the next couple of weeks because I'm going to be working late. So
What are we thinking then? Weekdays?
Mm.
no,
Sunday is the
no.
only other option.
Yeah, Sunday is really
Sunday?
it.
What about you, Sam? Can you pull Sunday?
So, I've just asked for Mondays off for one of my jobs,
For sure.
but that's not going to happen for another 2 weeks.
That's cool.
So, it's going to be tough for me. For
We could
now.
do
What
We
days?
could-
My schedule's.
we could do the like 2-hour sessions until like we get back to Mondays, and then we'll pump it back up to 3.
Yeah.
Keep it short so it doesn't take up too much of your time, since you probably won't have time to. But
Or really, it'll be Sunday. Sunday will be great.
yeah, that's what
when I
we're.
get Mondays
That's what
off,
we're
so
talking about
That's
doing.
what we're
yeah,
asking.
gotcha.
I think we're
Yeah.
talking about doing Sundays for a couple weeks.
getting
Sure.
them Sundays.
So we could do Sundays. I don't know how
Noon.
long you're going to be on OT, Don, but probably a while actually, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll
It's
be.
gonna be more than
It's
2
It's
weeks.
gonna be more
We-
than 2 weeks.
We could do like noon to 2ish, and then if it happens to go over, then Sam will try to work Sunday around your schedule. Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
because
yeah.
we could play like Sunday evenings too, like whichever.
Yeah.
Whichever works for you.
Sunday evening wouldn't work for me because I mean it's the same as now where I'd have to be up.
For sure.
You know.
All
What
right. Yeah.
is your
Early.
schedule? I mean, I don't know that anybody knows what your
So-
schedule is.
That's the issue is that it changes every week. I get usually one day off, and it's usually a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday. But it's completely
we could
random
try to
which
do
day that
Wednesday.
is. Yeah, absolutely. Here,
I do
I'll
have-
pull up my schedule right now and figure out.
I could
what I
definitely
got.
pull Wednesday
I mean,
nights.
Wednesday doesn't change anything for me.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, you still have OT.
Mm.
It has to be Sunday or Saturday, I guess. But
All right,
usually
Sam,
we do shit on Saturday.
you post your schedules every week in advance if you can, and we'll have to play like randomly on those days that you're available, or on the Sunday that you're available. We'll try to plan ahead for when we can play.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry,
until you
guys.
can get a solid day, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I am working on it. So
For sure.
because I wanna play more damn D&D.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
dude.
was
So
good
if
that
you had
this-
Monday off, does that mean that Sunday night would be better?
Yes.
Is that the idea? Okay.
All right, yeah.
Cool.
That sounds like something we could do. We probably won't if we do play Sunday nights when you get available. It probably won't be too late. We could do like 9 to 11, and that would probably be like relatively decent, or 8 to 10.
I'm usually home by 10 on Sundays at the latest.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. It's also possible. This isn't gonna take that much longer, to be honest. Like we probably have fewer than 10 sessions left.
Yeah, I can probably project that. Yeah, it's pretty safe.
So are we?
So-
So we're talking about Sundays. What time frame?
Sunday
on
afternoon?
Sundays? Afternoon. Any time on Sunday is fine for me. I mean, I'm off all day, so.
Yeah.
I work at 4 on Sunday.
We
4
could
to
do-
like 10. So
We could
we
do
could
like
do-
12 to
We
2
could do
and
Sunday
12 to 3.
mornings, or yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
used to do Sunday mornings at 11 for a while there. I mean, we could do like Sunday like noon.
Yeah, let's do Sundays noon to 3 the latest.
yeah, I
The
like it.
absolute latest we'll do 3. That way we have time to get everything to work on the chest.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right.
Uh,
Let's call it now.
we can
It's
chat
cool if we
for
don't
a
have
bit if we
post-game.
want. Sam, if you want to take off, if you gotta go, man.
Yeah,
Go
dude,
for it.
I gotta go. Take care of sleep in.
Quit being all shitty.
Yeah, Discord loves to shit the bed right when we play D&D.
Every goddamn time.
Yeah, it's really bad right now. I can't even connect. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
shitty.
It's so weird. It's like Discord's fine all week, and then
Well,
Monday
sounds like
night
they
when we
wish
play
to
D&D, it
see
shits itself. Yeah, anybody who showed up, thanks for watching. Sorry, it's a shorter session this week, but we were coming back from a long break, and one of the guys needs to go early. But normally we play Monday nights, but for the next few weeks we'll be playing on Sundays in the middle of the day. You know, join us if you want, or catch the VODs afterwards. Did you guys want to post-game chat a little bit, or do we just want to cut it off here?
I've got to do a little bit of homework before I go to bed.
Okay.
Night, y'all.
We're going to
Have a
wrap it
good
up
one.
here then.
Goodbye.
Good night, goodbye.
Thanks, y'all.
Pretty good cliffhanger, though.
Yeah, right. It was dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I
good
didn't
night.
expect to see that skull.